All right, Jamar, we've got you on. So listen, I've been dying to talk about this topic, and it comes right around the time that I've really been pushing YouTube. So selfishly, I'm excited to learn from you about this. But I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself for a second, because I do want to know, with all of the platforms out there, how did you start coaching on YouTube, right? Like, how did that become the platform that you really wanted to master?
Yeah. So first things first, hey y'all, I am Jamar Diggs. I am a YouTube strategist and manager for coaches and service providers, and we help our clients use YouTube for video lead generation because it is such a powerful search engine. And so to answer your question, I really fell into YouTube, but one, I hate writing, I hate reading. And so video was always the thing that I always tried to do, oddly. And so when I first started coming out on like the coaching space in 2014, I started out as a social media manager, and I did all the things. And then I finally started doing coaching in 2017. And that's when I started doing my YouTube channel. I made all these mistakes with it, but I knew something was there. I was like, I got to build up my authority. That was like my first thing that I really knew. Because I came from corporate. I was a social media specialist for homes.com, rent.com. Then I went to go ahead and be a digital marketing strategist for a mortgage company. And so I knew my stuff, but like I knew that other people didn't know that I knew my stuff. And so to me, video was the most fastest way for me to actually get my authority in there and to also be found easily through a whole search engine.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, right? Like that's what, 6, 7, something like that years.
Mhm.
So, when was the moment that you realized, okay, I have something here. Like I've got a method here. I could duplicate this.
Oh my gosh. You know how this is also one of the reasons why I say you got to have a coach. Okay, you got to have a coach. You got to have someone to like talk to you through your stuff, because I didn't start as like this YouTube expert service provider, right? Like I didn't start out that way. I started out as a social media manager, social media coach, then social media-esque business coach. It's just teach people how to make money with social media, right? And it got to a point to where I was just doing what you kind of, if you're like a new person in the online space, you kind of like fall for, and you're like, do what people will give you money for, do what, do that kind of stuff. And so I was just talking about content just all the time. And then like my coach was like, Jamar, you do not like talking about this stuff. Why are you keep talking about this basic content stuff? And and she's like, you like YouTube. Do you know how many people will pay you to actually show them or do it for them? And I was like, oh, I actually do love my YouTube channel. I do get clients through YouTube. As soon as I quit my job in 2020, that's how I started getting clients too, between Instagram and YouTube. And my coach was like, Jamar, lean into that. Like that's what lights you up. And I bet you could help people like understand the importance of it. And then I made a poll on Instagram, and I said, did you know that YouTube was the second largest search engine owned by the first largest search engine? Did you know that you could rank for certain keywords and phrases that your idol clients are searching for, and you could be the first one that they find, collapsing the time that takes for someone to even start working with you? And I started saying that stuff, and people were like, "What? Say more." And that's when I knew I had something.
Yeah, and I mean, what I think is going to be great for listeners is, I'm constantly pushing Instagram primarily, and you're obviously pushing, YouTube. But what I think is going to be great for listeners is those that have been listening to me for quite some time. There's going to be so many parallels in what we're about to talk about, and that's what I think is going to be so great about this episode, is that when people change platforms, they're like, everything is so different. My brain cannot compute. And it's like, no, it's just the same thing, but a different modality, right? So I want to dive into starting a channel, just like getting out there. And maybe this is a dead channel. Maybe it's literally starting a channel, whatever. But if you're not making money on YouTube right now or getting leads from your YouTube channel right now, let's dive into that. So first thing, just give me the basics, right? Do you have any rules on like having a great cover photo, what to look for, like certain things like that, just setting up the profile, like the YouTube channel?
Yeah, so setting up the profile is super, super easy. So what you want like your channel banner to be is, I like to call it like your unique value proposition. Like, what do you do and how do you help people, right? That should be the first thing someone should see when they go up onto your YouTube channel, right? They should see a banner with a picture of you, your unique value proposition, and then I like to also add like, what is your call to action for the entire channel? And that is rooted in our strategy, where each video is its own powerful marketing asset with a call to action, right? And so that call to action should also live on your banner, because the right side of your banner, you are able to also add a call to action link down below it, right? And so just of like how it looks, like if you go to your computer, you'll pull up your channel banner, there's like these links that you could add on to the right side of your banner. And so we like to have our clients add their call to action around there on the banner, but then have it pointing to that little link, right? Just a little quick little thing, right? That's what I would totally do first for like the channel branding aspect of it and just getting it started.
Cool. So super simple, similar to almost like starting a Facebook page, right? We want to have a call to action, and maybe you switch that out for different lead magnets that you're promoting or something like that potentially, or a signature course or framework. So I hear you on that. Don't just put your favorite photo. This is not like a Facebook profile, like Facebook page, yes, profile, maybe not. Okay, let's talk about, the people that are already getting a lot of leads from Instagram, for example, right? They are getting a lot of leads. They're posting consistently. I like to use the word constant versus consistent. So, there's constant pressure on selling, nurturing, inspiring, all those kinds of things going on. They're thinking, all right, Jamar, I've got all this great content. I've been doing a lot of videos. What can I repurpose? Because, oh my God, YouTube, like that's another thing to think about, right? I have all this good content. What do you tell them?
So most of the content that if you really want to try, you can, but it's different because the platform is a little bit different, right? And so, but in the past, I do tell clients that like, you can repurpose your Instagram lives to YouTube. You just have to re-edit it, right? So when you think about how things work, like if you are on live on Instagram, obviously you're maybe talking to the audience and things like that. You don't want to take that whole thing, put it up on YouTube. You want to cut it so that it feels like a cohesive video that has a hook, like meat and potatoes, and then a call to action like a typical YouTube video, right? Just cut that out. You can also now repurpose some of your shorts, your reels into shorts, right? So your short form videos are working for that as well. You can repurpose some of your carousel posts into YouTube as well, because you could be using that on your community tab, right? So there are so many there's so many opportunities where you can repurpose. You just got to be a little bit smart and strategic about it, because the purpose of the content on Instagram may be a little bit different than how we want it to function up on YouTube.
So walk me through the differences, right? Like if I've got a content strategy for Instagram, how do I develop a content strategy that's effective for YouTube?
So here's kind of how it will start, right? So people that come to us, they already do well on Instagram. They have a whole machine over there, girl, right? And so when it comes to, look, that's good, right? I love it, because I say that you should have both. Like if you have the capacity, Instagram is your community-based platform where you nurture people very, very quickly, right? And then YouTube is pulling new people from the internet, from the search engine, and bringing them into your orbit, right? And so that's awesome. Now, the content strategy is going to look a little different because of the purpose of how Instagram is and YouTube. And so for YouTube, your call to action, every video is around that call to action. What is your lead magnet that you are going to be using to get them off of YouTube and into your sales system? So that's going to be what it is. And then we have 5 video types in the YouTube funnel framework that we teach to get people in there. So for example, like one video is like an anchor video, which is going to be your frequently asked questions, your how-tos, maybe even tutorials if it makes sense, right? Those are going to be your videos because those are video topics that are highly searched for, things that people are that's going to be the bulk of your search, right? And then you're bringing people in, right, just from that search into your channel. And then your other types of videos are going to be shifting perspective content, combating certain objections, not sales objections, but like things that people think as a alternative to working with you, right? What are those things that you just want to shake people about, right? And like, why are you doing this? Why, right? Like put it out into the open and have that as a resource of why this works best versus this, right? That's kind of how that will look. We also encourage case studies, right? So what are your like client testimonials, case studies? Like it can be done either solo or like with the interview style, right? That's fine. And then we also have the last video type, which is the core value or personal video, which is more like a story time. Like this is how I walk so you can run, right? It's a very nice piece to add to the strategy to where you are being a little bit more relatable, because all the other video types are you just telling people what the fuck to do. Right. And so it's nice to have this kind of humanity building, this kind of relatable piece of content there, because people are going to be watching it, binge watching the actual videos that you make. So your content strategy relates all around that. So like those topics, and then ultimately what that lead magnet is.
So everything is selling to a lead magnet. Is anything ever a hard sell on YouTube for like an offer that you have, or do you primarily just push kind of like opt-in pages?
I recommend opt-in pages. You can do a hard sell to a mastermind, a program, anything like that. I honestly, for new channels, I don't recommend that, because you're just building the channel. And I think that we are missing the opportunity to build it if we're trying to sell it too soon, right? And that's kind of like the thing with Instagram is a little bit different, to where we can make an Instagram. Look, Taylor, you and I know, okay? We can make an Instagram post real quick, make a little cha-ching real quick, honey, okay? Look, I know, right? But when it comes to YouTube, it's a little bit different, because with Instagram, people can easily know you. You build that bond with you so freaking easily. And with YouTube, these people are coming because they have a problem. They're searching for a problem. They are now ready to listen to you and listen to your unique way of doing things. They may not be ready to give you 20K yet. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, right? You know what I'm saying? They may feel like, girl, I just had a question about trying to make some money, and now you trying to tell me that I got to be inside this mastermind. I mean, it sounds fun, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm quite ready yet. Let me watch a few more videos. Right?
And this is where the binging comes into play, though, right? And so, the question, and I'm with you, because it's the same way as like email marketing or really anything, right? Even Instagram. Like if you're trying to build authority on any platform, you want to nurture, inspire, educate, right? More than you sell, of course, right? People have to just like, it's the simple know, like, trust, all of that we all know and understand. But for YouTube, is there a sweet spot in terms of frequency, like posting per like amount per week? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I'm looking at, is like the numbers to shoot for.
Oh yeah. Like we tell our clients 2 videos a month. That's it. That's all that you need to do.
Wow.
2 videos a month. And this comes into our framework and how we work with clients versus what YouTube will tell you, or what a creator coach will tell you, right? Like I specifically work with business owners, coaches and service providers, agency owners who have a business to run and they need to use YouTube. Well, they want to use YouTube for lead generation. We're not out here trying to like entertain the girls. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here trying to be a YouTuber influencer thing. Like that will come. We are already influential. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be part of the YouTube partner program in order for us to be recognized as being influential. The girls need our expertise. We're here to serve the girls and get the money, get the bag. Okay. And so with that, being like one of like our core ways of working with clients, it's so different, right? Because everyone else will tell you every week or 2 times a week if you really want rapid growth, right? But for us, growth is not that's not the priority. Growing the channel is not the priority. Bringing in the right people to the channel and getting them to click the link is the priority. Growth can keep you broke. Okay. That's kind of how I think
Same with
about it.
virality, right? Like
Yes.
virality does not equate to more money.
Nope, not at all. So that's kind of how we do it. So 2 videos a month is really all that you need to do. If you want to do more, you can, but we have found over the past couple years that shooting for 2 videos a month on YouTube for the coaches, consultants, service pros keeps it in a way to where YouTube is still pleasing for them and not burning them out. And it doesn't feel like it's another thing up on their to-do list.
And when you say 2 videos, are these like shorts or straight up videos?
Long form video. So
right.
I am a long form video person 110%. Shorts are there, they're cute. I don't even use them as much because here's the thing. Long form video would never go. Shorts are great, but I really want the priority for these newer channels and people in your community to know that having the shorts on your channel is not going to get you to your result faster. It may even hold you up a little bit because your analytics are going to be a little bit weird because YouTube, when you first start out, they're trying to figure out what the heck is your channel about. You know what I'm saying? And we also want, how do I say this? I want quick, faster results. A short form 1-minute video is not going to do the same as a 5-minute long form video about your core values, about your frameworks, about whatever shifting perspective thing that they need to hear from you in order to click the link in the lead magnet. You will get more quality people to your conversion point with long form video than with short form video.
Got it. Perfect. How many lead magnets would you say that you should be bouncing between? Any number?
I love just one lead magnet, right? And so, and here's the thing to where it gets tricky because most of the time we have our clients make new lead magnets. Not like, maybe not from scratch, but like it may be something that they already have, but for it to work and for it to be easy and for it to be a no-brainer, I like our lead magnets to be around our frameworks, around our methodology, and around what we believe. It doesn't need to be a checklist or whatever. Like those things will come and go, right? But what stays consistent is your unique way of helping people and getting them on board with that. Because now, here's what we have done. Is we have this amazing YouTube funnel to where we have your YouTube videos working for you, getting them on board with your unique way of thinking. Then we also have the call to action be the lead magnet that solidifies that unique way of thinking, right? Making it super easy for them to convert into a sale for you. And then you have your sales system, your automatic follow-up system that is waiting, that is leaning in for the kill, honey, to take the money. Okay. And it becomes easier because those people, there is no fighting there. They know that they need you. They opted into this thing because they know that they needed you. And so it's only a matter of time and depending on how your sales systems are for your email marketing, right? So that's kind of how we do it. We kind of make people like just kind of make a new lead magnet most of the time.
I think that could be a whole other podcast episode, but I think that so many coaches are sitting on gold mines and they're just scratching their head, like wondering, like, what should I create next? And really it's right in front of you, right? It may be part of a call you had or an example you gave or whatever, like lead magnets. But I just was curious if you're kind of bouncing between a few or keeping it one and just kind of like rotating that one out, which would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I really recommend just one that is tried and one or one that is tried and true, right? So we have one client that has like this amazing quiz that she knows if people get in this quiz, she already knows that they can convert, right? That's great. Let's use that quiz because that quiz is also still rooted in her methodology, her like her unique way of thinking, right? And her offer. So that's another thing that I kind of like missed a little bit. The easiest way that I recommend making this lead magnet is, what is the thing that you're trying to sell, right? What is the offer that you want to sell? Most of our clients have coaching programs or something that already has a framework, has a framework. Okay, let's take that framework and present it to them, because then it's so much easier to sell them on the thing if they already know that they need these things.
I mean,
Right?
one of my best, converting lead magnets was a workshop that I hosted for my clients. It's like a mastermind workshop I do. And so they're able to see not only the framework, but like it's a real coaching call. It wasn't a free thing I did. It was truly that, because I received the question a few times over the last few years, like, could I just sit in on a coaching call? Absolutely not. No, you can't just hop in on a coaching call. And so I thought, okay, you know what? Like, this was a really good call. I do it every single year in December, and I went ahead and just put it out there, and it opened so many doors, right? And I think that, just to reiterate on what, Jamar is saying, okay, so we're talking about YouTube strategy, and now we're coming to the thing that both of us preach, having a really good lead magnet. And then we're both going to tell you the same thing about, then it comes down to your email marketing and your funnel and your tripwires and all of those things, right? Which has nothing to do with your Instagram or YouTube strategy. So I know we're going to kind of double down on that. So let's talk about the equipment you need to get started on YouTube.
Yes. So I go hard for this question so much because it will make every other YouTube coach or video expert cringe to death. But I recommend just a simple webcam or your iPhone and a lavalier mic, a Yeti mic, whatever you probably already have, right? As long as on the video people can see you clearly and hear you clearly, to me that's all that matters, because we are here to give the girls the information so they can click the link. There's no more of this hullabaloo around like, what camera should I get, what kind of mic should I get, this Shure mic, should I get this other kind of mic, should I get, girl, what you got now? Okay, because quiet as kept, you could make 3 videos and start getting these leads inside your sales system. They don't care about what your backdrop looks like. They don't care about what camera you're using, as long as they can see you, right?
That
And so,
backdrop is such a thing. So this is embarrassing when I share it with you anyway. I moved into this house. I built it last year. And the last thing that I have decorated is my office, because I just like, it's a small room. And I'm like, I don't care. It's going to be this white ass wall. I don't give a shit. And you know
yes.
what? My sales have only gone up. Like, it doesn't matter, right? And my background is in TV news. So I was a broadcast journalist for a long, long time. And so it's as long as people can, like you said, hear you. And my goal was always to get people to unmute their TV. And so it's the same thing. Like, if you can just get people to listen to you and you're not like in some dark corner or something, you're going to be totally fine. A ring light and your iPhone can go a long way. iPhones today, maybe not like the first iPhone, but today, like, the cameras are amazing, and just get a good stand, right?
Yes.
Because once you start getting, at least in my opinion, once you start getting all of these levels and layers, like the fancy mic and the camera, which I do have, but I also have somebody who's editing all of my stuff for me, right? And when you're a solopreneur or you don't have the budget for a videographer, isn't that just another barrier for why you're not doing it, you know?
Yes. I have spoken to so many people who have like just bought so much tech and then have not done anything with it because they were intimidated by it. They didn't know how to use it. And then they didn't even know what to record. Right. And so I'm like, all that money that y'all have spent on the camera and stuff, why don't you just hire someone to help you with the strategy, give you a guide, you know what I'm saying, help you on that front, because then you will actually be making money than having this camera that you pay $800 for to sit on your sit in your closet, right? And we have a client now who does her YouTube videos on her iPhone, and they're freaking amazing. They're
I
so
mean,
good. She has a ring light and an iPhone, and we're still able to edit them for her just as well. You know what I'm saying? Just as good.
yep, there's times where, I want to just put something up real fast and I don't have time to wait on the, 2 to 3 day editing process. Like, breaking news does happen in social media. There are things that happen. You need to talk about it. You need to get something out right then and there. And same thing for me. I'm not reaching for my camera. I'm reaching for my phone because I can just quickly edit that and get that up, right? It may not have a cute cover photo, but it may do the job in that instant, So I'm totally with you on that. Curious to know your thoughts though on just like the look or aesthetics of like a YouTube channel, right? Like the cover photos, things like that, if it's needed. But just kind of how you kind of set that up for your clients.
Yeah. So the main things that people really should just care about really is so of course we talked about like the channel banner, right? But for the video, as far as like the aesthetic side, it's really the thumbnail, right? So that thumbnail is going to be the most important thing that you can do to your video, along with like the title and the video description, like how to optimize it. But really the thumbnail is where people kind of skip sometimes. They just go inside Canva and they put something up on there, they find a picture of them, and then they kind of like, I think that's good enough. But your thumbnail is going to be one of the determining factors that someone is going to use in order to see if they want to click the video and watch it, right? So not only should it stand out amongst like what other videos are out there that are titled similarly as yours, but it should also the text on it should like kind of like pique interest or give them like insight of like something that makes them want to click, right? It doesn't have to be like clickbaity or anything like that, but just think about how could you hook someone? What is going to be the easiest way, right? Sometimes I like to just have it be about like four or five words on it, and then have a picture of me and then some elements that make sense inside the video, right? So if I'm talking about Instagram, I'm going to add the Instagram logo in it. If I'm talking about YouTube or TikTok, I'm going to add those logos in it. If I'm talking about, I don't know, money, I'm going to add like a money emoji, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like things that just make sense, that kind of tie it together and really get them to be engaged. Because like when you think about what people are doing, like, how, like, think about like when you're like searching for a video up on YouTube, right? You're kind of trying to see, okay, does the title answer what you're looking for? And then on some level, you look at the thumbnail and you're like, I wonder if this will help me, right? And so if I am a e-commerce coach and I'm trying to think about like what are like the top three e-commerce platforms to use, right? And why and how to use them, and maybe that's like a video, right? Let's go ahead and add the logos to the three e-commerce sites that you're going to talk about to the video, right? Because most of the time they already know they really want information on one in particular sometimes, right? So if I know that I'm going to cover Shopify, Wix, and Squarespace, add them damn logos to the damn thing, because that's going to help people know, okay, yes, I want to like learn more about that, right? What are those elements that make sense for you to add to that image?
And I'll use an example, from like, let's say something that we all will know, like a review video of a certain product, right? Recently it was like Sephora's, annual sale, right? And if you look at various videos, you're going to see some kind of like, 2023 must have products, and there's like 5 on the front. And one of those you've been thinking about, and they know that too. Like, that's marketing, right? I may not have clicked that if it just was like review, right? And so I think people oftentimes don't pay attention to their own buying habits or clicking habits because headlines are such a major thing. Like copy skills are so imperative. And this is another parallel, right? Like I know you said you don't love writing and all of that, whereas I do. But there's still these elements, right? The
Yes.
headlines like that you have to be really good at, and the lead magnet, the sales page or opt-in page, all of these things are marketing elements. And I think that just being aware of what you're clicking on. So, for example, if you're wondering how to get better at headlines without even just like talking about literally how, think about what emails you actually click on in your junk email. Which ones are catching your attention and which ones do you never click on, right? Like just your habits should teach you so much about what is worthy of a click, and use those same principles when it comes to, any kind of marketing on any platform.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
love that so much.
So I want to kind of dive in. I know you mentioned your signature framework a little bit, but I do want to dive into the lead generation aspect, right? How the hell do we make money on YouTube? We've got the base, we know what to kind of put up there. How are we finding leads? How are people finding us?
Yeah. So it's through the actual, so it's through, it's actually through that framework still, right? And so the anchor video, so that's kind of how your leads come, because everything is around what you sell, the entry level, the entry point to the lead magnet, right? And then these topics, these 5 core videos are nurturing your lead for you, right? And so really the first, like the anchor video is going to be answering a commonly asked question, right? And when you use that, like you can use something like vidIQ, TubeBuddy to know like whether or not this keyword phrase or topic is really good for you. I like to say have a these things should have a high search volume and low competition, right? And so figuring out like in those topics, what are the most relevant topics that you can do videos about that revolve around the anchor video, the shifting perspectives, the combating objections, right? Because when you think about how you talk to leads just in general, right? Just like people, they go through that same process. We just don't really like to admit it, because they find you because you gave them like a really good tip, or maybe I'm on a podcast, I'm answering a freaking asked question already, right? Okay, cool. And then so we got them in, right? They probably don't know our unique way of thinking quite yet, right? But they will in the next video that is about the 3 mistakes that you're making, or like why this doesn't work, or why this isn't the best thing, whatever that topic would be, that shifts their perspective, and then it makes them go, huh, I didn't think about that. Okay, next video is the objection, right? And so the reason why we have these types of videos is because now this viewer that came in off of just like some frequently asked question, you shifted their perspective, and now they're like, I should probably work with this person, or like I should probably learn more from this person, or maybe I'll just do this thing instead. It's always like that, whenever you feel like the card may come out eventually, they start thinking, you know what, or I could do this other thing that may be a little bit more easier, or I could just do this, right? Or this, right? And so what this video would do is it will already take care of that for you, right? So for like me, for example, people would think, they would do like, okay, I think I'm ready for a YouTube channel, or you know what, a podcast sounds a little bit more easier. Maybe I should just do that, right? I created a whole bunch of videos around YouTube versus podcasting, how to weigh out the pros and cons, right? How do you know which one is best for you? How to get monetized, like how to monetize your channel versus how to monetize your podcast, right? Just answer those damn questions now. You know what I'm saying? Why wait for the damn sales call for that dumbass question? Wait, sorry, it's not dumb, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Just like,
No, I think that's okay to say that, right? The thing with business, and we're not even talking about that, is that everyone is always looking for an easy way out, right? That there's always something easier that involves less effort, but like friction is what makes massive shifts over time, right? And so if we're always opting for the easier route, like check the stripe. There's a reason that you're not getting more coming in there. you know?
Yes, come on. Yeah.
But that's perfect because I can see that. Like even myself, right? Like there's a reason I haven't done YouTube or prioritized YouTube. And I think some of that was resistance from like my previous job, but I never chose a podcast because it was easier, but I could see exactly why somebody would say that, right? Like, oh, that seems easier. I can just like edit it really fast. It's not my face on there. And I, let me ask you that, right? Because I'm somebody that I'm very rarely like in makeup. I live in workout clothes. I'm a health coach. All these things, right? So when I show up on YouTube, depends on what I'm doing. So if I'm doing a quick short, as long as I have a ring light, honestly, I'm good to go. But what are your thoughts on, and I'm not talking about looking homeless, okay? But like, generally speaking, do we need to worry about like having a perfect face of makeup? What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't. So this is definitely going to be biased because I know I am a man. I know I could just wake up and just put some clothes on. I know, ladies. I understand. But I do want you to know that the beauty of the way that we teach YouTube is that people are listening to you, watching you for your brain and not for your body, right? They're not really trying to pay attention to how you look, right? Like how you said, don't be looking homeless, but like you don't have to have like a full face of makeup because really they need you more than you need that face beat. Okay. Like, okay, so that's kind of just what it is. You don't need to get makeup and hair done and things like that. As long as you can serve them with the information that is promised in the video to get them to click the link, that's all that you need to do.
And the easiest thing too, because I can see, a girl listening to this and thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do a little something. And I think this is where just the planning comes into play because I know for me, my clients are always like, wait, you do what? Because I put out about 100 pieces of content a month. And it's only taking me maybe in total time, like a day to do all of that.
Work.
And,
Yes.
once a month, I meet up with my like videographer and I film every single thing for the upcoming month, right? Whether that's
Yes.
ads or shorts or whatever. And, that's one day that I come prepared with makeup and like 4 outfit changes, right? And it's annoying and I don't like doing it, but it's a 90-minute thing and it's done. And people always say, holy shit, 90 minutes for like, 40 videos. It's like, well, yeah, like if you have a strategy, you know what you're selling, you take the time to plan and write, then it's just rinse and repeat over time, right? And
Yes.
so I'm not coming to work. I say coming to work sounds weird, but like coming to work every day, with like a full face of makeup, because to be honest, I'd rather save that 30 or 45 minutes and just focus on my clients or get to work earlier or whatever. So I think like capitalizing whatever you're struggling with, whatever resistance you're having, if it's the makeup, the tech, the I don't know how to edit, right? Like these are all objections that you can get the answer to so fast, probably by looking on your Instagram without even giving you money, to be totally honest, right? Because I'm sure you're putting out amazing content. I mean, I've seen your posts and I know that. But any resistance you're having, I would challenge you after this to find where that's actually coming from, right?
Mm.
Because this whole idea of I want to but I'm not doing it, that's going to hold you back forever. It's not just YouTube.
Yeah, there's going to be a time to where that's just not going to be acceptable anymore. You know how many things I didn't want to do?
Probably a
A
lot.
lot, so many things, but I did it, and it has always helped me get to where I am faster, right? And I'm not just saying that just like get on YouTube even if you hate it. No, I'm not saying that, but just with anything, right? Because most of the time, people that use that term as like this kind of scapegoat, they've probably used it. You may have used it for other things too, right? This is YouTube just may be that one thing right now, but you may have been like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sell in the DMs.
Oh, not that.
I don't want to feel salesy. I don't want to do that. That's going to keep you broke, honey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to do some things that you don't like that may make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, right? But ask yourself, is it going to help you give the people that you want to work with an amazing transformation in the future? You know what I'm
Period.
saying? Then
Yeah.
it's worth it. Then
Right.
it's worth it. we're here to serve. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, totally. And our ego can't do that for us, right? So
Mhm.
talking to health coaches specifically, I know you work with, business owners, things like that, but I'm looking at health coaches specifically. I remember probably 5, 10 years ago, I'll say 10, workout videos are so popular. And I feel like that's not really the case anymore, like tutorial videos, right? And I'm just curious, like, if somebody doesn't have a course, they're just doing like the one-to-one service providing type of thing, what would you say would be a good idea for like some video ideas for them that aren't just here's how to do this workout today?
Yeah, I literally, this is just why I love the YouTube funnel framework so much, because the same will still apply. It all comes back to your one-to-one coaching program. I'm sure you have a specific way that you work with people in that program, right? Whether they're trying to lose weight, gain weight, which I don't know that much about the health coaching
It's okay, you don't
industry,
have to.
but
Don't worry about it.
but you know what I'm saying. But like, I'm sure that there's something, right? And so like, what is that transformation that you help people do? What is going to be like? What is make that lead magnet around that framework, right? And then from that, what is going to be your anchor video? What is going to be the frequently asked question that someone has around this thing, right? Do I have to restrict my diet in order to lose weight? Frequently asked question. There you go. And I bet you that one has a really, really high search value and a low competition, because I'm just this damn good at what I do. Okay. Now, but and then shifting perspective, what is something that makes people need to think differently, right? It can be still in line to restrictive dieting, right? Like, I don't know about that one, but like, what is something that makes people go, huh, I didn't think about it that way? What thing inside your framework actually makes people think about how they operate differently, right? Make a video on that,
Where I see
right?
struggle points with health coaches in particular, and again, that's my industry, so I'm sure it's
Mhm.
not exclusive to mine, but before a coach has maybe a second offer or something different,
Mhm.
the answer or the thought that I always get is, well, I don't have a framework. Everyone is different.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I'm sure you've heard this because I just said this.
Yes.
And
Yep.
here's the thing, not everyone is an outlier, right? So maybe Sally took 10 months and Jessica took 6 weeks, but your contract is a timeline for a reason. So you
Mhm.
have to create a beginning, middle, and end, or something like that, because otherwise, you're just like throwing things at a wall and hoping that it sticks, right? I think this idea that like everyone is so different, I don't have a framework. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, oh, this is so fun. So regardless, if you may not have it written down, but you have it, what is the milestone that someone needs to achieve in order to move them to the next point in the process, right? What is the goal that you want people to achieve after working with you? And then how do people get to that goal? That baby, that's a framework.
People hear the word framework though and just assume like, oh my God, it's like intellectual property and it has to be like so cookie cutter and perfect. And it's not, right? Like, for example, coaches, you have a way you onboard. You have a step one. You have an audit that you do with their nutrition, with their workouts, with maybe their hormones, whatever it is. And then you have a protocol to get over that hurdle. And then you have a protocol to get them to the next level and the next level and then graduate them, right? So yeah, 1000%. But I wanted to throw that at you because I knew that you would have the same reaction as me. Um, I do want to kind of close this on like more of a data perspective, because I talk about tracking, and not using emotion to make decisions, because y'all, if you're starting a YouTube channel, you're probably not going to see results in 7 days, right? Like give it a hot ass second. So what KPIs are you tracking specifically, and how often should you be auditing those?
Yeah, so there are a few YouTube specific KPIs that we track, and then there are also website traffic type of KPIs that we track as well, right? So when it comes to YouTube, we want to see what is your click-through rate, right? So the click-through rate is what that thumbnail, title, and topic revolves around, right? So your click-through rate should be around 4% or higher, makes it really good. Then we want it to be, what is the next thing? Oh my gosh, your average viewer duration. It for our types of videos, it may be a little bit lower because of the way that we structure our YouTube video. So around like 30-40% average viewer duration is just fine. And then is the majority of your traffic coming from YouTube search? That's what we want to see. We want the majority of your traffic to be coming from YouTube search, period. And then so it should look like YouTube search. Then like the second one may be external sources, and that external source will be Google, right? So we want the majority of your traffic to be coming from YouTube search and Google search. And then the rest are like great, like just being suggested or channel pages, things like that. That's fine. And then after that, right? After that, we want to go to your website and we want to see how many people are coming from YouTube to your website, to your lead magnet, right? And then from that, how many, and then from that, that's kind of where I like to say, we did our job if people are going to your site. I like to say that because there's just so many factors that play a role. To like, some clients are like, no, I want to give you the credit for that. But I'm like, baby, if the lead magnet not lead magneting, I don't want to be responsible for that. Okay. but if clients do have, if they do have a really solid lead magnet and sales system, they'll be able to see high conversions from the amount of people that come to the site and convert into like into like their application or lead magnet thing. That, sorry, not application, their lead magnet, whatever they want to opt into. And then that is basically what we track. Those are kind of like the KPIs, and then we want to see if they go higher each month over month, which they should.
Right. Yeah. And are you pulling those data points like bi-weekly or like weekly, monthly?
For a new channel, I would check your individual channel after 7 days, see how it's going. And then for new channels, it's like I like 7 days after a video has gone live. So you'll probably be checking your analytics bi-weekly on YouTube. And then up on for like your website, I would like to just see it per month.
Cool. Awesome. Anything else I didn't cover on YouTube? Anything you wanted to share?
Oh my gosh. I think we went through so much, man.
We did.
but I do want to just stress that, like, well, what we talked about today is very specific to your business, to you being a business owner, right? So I really want you to take this information and don't compare it to what you've heard somewhere else. It's very, very important, because you're going to, everything that I said today, someone may tell you, I don't really know, but I want people to understand that there's kind of like 3 types of video YouTube experts in the world. There are people that help creators or influencers get monetized on YouTube. There are video experts that help people create amazing video and get leads with it, right? And then there are people like me, who I'm a video marketing expert, right? So I'm looking at a video marketing strategy to get leads. This is lead generation, right? And I'm being very real with you when I'm telling you, as a business owner, as a coach, I've been a coach before, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm looking at what was my capacity, right? This is why it's so unique. Oh, I just get so excited about it. This is why it's so unique, because I took what the YouTube experts told people they had to do, right? And I experimented, tested it out, said, fuck that. That's not possible for a business owner who is, trying to run a business while also use YouTube for lead generation. Some of these things that they're telling me is to get me monetized up on YouTube. I'm not trying to get monetized up on YouTube if I can just get someone to sign to like sign with me as a client, right? I know how we think. And that's why the way that I have the strategy mapped out for y'all is why it's going to work for you specifically. So just think about it like that.
Yep. I mean, there's always layers to different coaches too, right? Like even for business coaching, there's the people that are specialized in Facebook or, running a ton of ads, which is not me. I'm the organic girl. Like that's, we all have different tactics, but no, this was super helpful. And I can tell you for my specific audience, like you would be like you are the perfect person for this, which is why I brought you on here. And if any of you want to connect with Jamar after this, I am going to be linking kind of like his framework for getting some leads for you and helping you out on YouTube. So that's going to be in the show notes. But thank you for hopping on today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course.